Welcome back, everybody. Into a new season.
It's in the game.
Let me hop on. Hop in the lobby. It's the Inter tier, guys. And this season, at least, we have a stacked grid. Last season, most of the races we did have 11 to 12 drivers, but they did put up a very exciting season that came to an end in Monza when Mr. P was crowned double champion against his contender UFRL Merck, who was champion of the 100% tier. We're back here today to see a new set of drivers that are here to race for the coveted title of Inter Tier Champion. A good call of drivers to watch. We have the likes of Hazer, Pesci, CPI, Mateos. These two did have their own personal rivalry last season in the Inter Tier, but this time around, how is it going to look? What other top drivers around them? Are they going to dominate like they did last season, or are their fates going to change this season? The other tier one drivers like Destroyer Drag, F1 Connor, yours sincerely, and other drivers to watch here in the Inter tier. Our champion, Mr. P, should be here. Here he is. He is back this season again in that Ferrari to try and grab a back-to-back title. It's probably going to be more difficult than it was to grab the title last season. It's also the same way in Tier 1, as we do have a 20 driver grid in Tier 1, a lot of top drivers. Should be starting anytime soon. Have they said we should ready up in the chat? Please do not ready up if we're not asked to yet. We can all just go on the race day lounge and see if we're asked to ready up. Good evening. Good evening, Pucci. Good to see you here. Hopefully, a good race coming up. I'm excited. I'm excited. I just want the race to start. But first off, obviously, we have to start with the sprint race. It's going to be no quali because of the sprint. We're going to do 8 laps around Spa. See who's going to come ahead with the win. It's going to be a random grid anyway, so how lucky could some of these drivers be right now? To just start at the front. Sometimes it doesn't work as you think it will. Because I remember starting in P3 in a race in Saudi, random grid, dropping all the way to the back in turn 3. All right, we have more drivers readying up now, so I believe if that's the case, I mean, if the leader hasn't readied up, who is Mr. P? But Mr. P has left the lobby. Interesting. So it's been a good first week in UFRL, hasn't it? Had good races all around, with Viva winning tier 2, Dog winning in tier 3, and United Pesci, the runner-up of last season's championship, coming in to win in his first race this season. Starting off on a good point if he wants to grab the title this time around. It's going to be a harder season, 25 races, unlike last season when we just had 12. But it's a season where he will be looking for redemption. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, Viva. It's going to be a difficult one to win. It's a lot of tier 1 and some tier 2 drivers, top drivers around. Just have to try and be consistent as quick as you can, and maybe the race will just come to you. But that's just a maybe. It's difficult to predict who's going to win this race, but my guess is I'm backing him now. I hope he actually lives up to my expectations. CPI Mateus is going to show everybody why he was the top driver in the Inter tier last year. Even though he didn't win, he was a full-time driver, but he didn't race in every race. He did come P4, I believe, right behind Viva in P3. So we'll see what he can do this time around on this season. Will he be the champion? Everybody remembers Gabor. And he was a top driver. I believe he had about 8 to 9 wins in the season that he was champion, and that was unbelievable. And here we go. The race is about to start. 18 seconds to go. Finally, we can go ahead. 6:10 in my side, should be 11:10 or 10:10 actually for you guys. So Matthias just always did the last to first, and you know those 23 points you get for winning is just very good. And most times he was right in the front, unless Pesci had a really good day and just got ahead and beat Matthias. But here we go now to the sprint in Spa. Please do not ready up right away. Everybody put your setups first, and we'll put in the race day lounge. Ask if drivers are ready to race. So just put in your setups and wait. Here we go. The drivers are on the grid, so the race should start anytime soon. I'm really, really excited for this. Anytime soon, lights will be out and the drivers will be racing. What up, Speed Bullets? Good to see you here. Hopefully you enjoy the race. The Intertier tier that's really underrated. A tier that every driver from every tier tries to show themselves that they can race with anyone across all tiers, especially for the tier 2 and tier 3 drivers. This is a chance to show themselves. Alright, Viva, you could try. You can just try. You need to defend like a lion to keep them behind. But just 8 laps. It's just 8 laps. It won't be as hard as the full race that is to come after we are done with the sprint. That will be starting anytime soon when the drivers are ready. A lot of top drivers here. I'm very excited for this race to get going. All right. I'm eager. Just sitting down here waiting. It's kind of annoying, man. I want to watch a race, you know. There we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's foot to the floor and go in the first race in the Intertier. There's a car going wide of Williams of, I believe it's Stickman, trying to make the way for drivers to get by. But here we go, out of turn 1, yellow flags at the back, and Viva is starting right in front, ahead of Mr. Poem, who right now is in the Mercedes sandwich, up Eau Rouge and Radio, down the Kemmel straight. Here comes the Ferrari, down the straight, better straight line speed than the Mercedes, and is now going to take the lead. The winner of the Intertier last season leads the race here in the first race of the season, the sprint race. And there we go, 3 wide they go into the corner, and that right there is not what you want to do. CPI Mateus makes contact with the Red Bull, and they are still racing. Hopefully no damage there, as CPI Mateus is now dropping to P10 and fighting with the McLaren of Prezi Perez. And as they go around the corner now, who is going to go ahead? CPI Mateus in front of the Ferrari and down to pool 1 now. Are they still going to be side by side? The drivers not giving an inch here, and CPI Mateus has now dropped behind United Pesci, Danny, and also Danny getting ahead of Lynx, getting overtaken by Lynx, my bad, as the Red Bull has now got it behind the Haas driver. And the first lap of the sprint is about to end with Marv putting pressure on his teammate Viva, and Marv about to go side by side down to the bus stop chicane. Who is going to be ahead here? There's no team orders in the Mercedes, and is Marv going to go down the inside of his team as they get to the bus stop chicane? Viva is going to defend a late defense from the Mercedes driver, and the Ferrari in front is taking this opportunity to pull away from the squabbling drivers behind. And everybody on the medium tires except from SR Racing, who's right at the back as Dog dives into the pit and might have had damage right at the start of the race. CPI Mateus now getting ahead of Danny, and some of these drivers are making contact. That's not what we want to see, but it's hard racing, and I hope more to come. Back to the front now. Marv finally getting ahead of his teammates. Side by side they go now down to the chicane, and can Viva fight it round the outside? No, he can't, and Marv puts himself in front. CPI Mateus now getting overtaking Prezi Perez down the inside, going into the chicane, and CPI Mateus in that Ferrari puts himself in P8 and ahead of the McLaren. Pesci though putting pressure on Danny Dean in the Red Bull, the sister car of the Red Bull, putting pressure on him as the driver has retired, destroyed drag, retiring from the race. A switchback now from United Pesci on Danny Dean, and as they head to pool 1, he's ahead into P10 right behind Prezi Perez, trying to make that move so he can attack CPI Mateus in front. Crisando right behind TTV yours sincerely in the other Red Bull. Candy Aston Martin, who is on 4-way battle, 5-way battle actually, gets ahead of TTV yours sincerely, but in front we have Hazer and Viva, McLaren, Mercedes side by side down into the bus stop chicane, and before they even get there, Hazer and the McLaren is going to get ahead. United Pesci also getting ahead of the other McLaren as they get down to the bus stop chicane. These drivers don't need DRS, and there's contact in front because I'm going into TTV sincerely. He didn't make him lose places, but he's compromised him a little bit, because right now he's not going to have that DRS going to attack the Red Bull in front. Haas driver though going around the Aston Martin, and they're both going to have that DRS, but can the Red Bull driver of TTV sincerely keep them behind as they go down the straight now? Here we go. He's not going to have the DRS, but it looks like he is far ahead enough to keep them behind as Viva down the inside of Hazer to the chicane now, and he takes that place back at the Mercedes, puts himself right behind his teammates in PT. SR Racing and Stickman racing at the back as SR Racing with those soft tires want to get the move done, and he gets ahead of Stickman in the Williams. Back to Hazer in front, who just got overtaken by the Mercedes of Viva. And when is he going to take that position back? He's going to have that DRS because he's close enough to the Mercedes, so no problem there whatsoever. But TTV sincerely 1.3 seconds behind Hazer, and he would need to get close. He would need that DRS to protect from the quick moving driver of Lynx Pitts in that Haas, who is looking to get that move done. Krizam is doing well to keep close to them, and he's also going to have that DRS, but he has that threat of CPI Mateus in the Ferrari getting closer and closer to him. But now will Hazer make the move down to the bus stop chicane, and here they go down the straight now. He's not going to use that DRS. He's going to tuck behind that Mercedes. He knows that the DRS is very important in a track like this, that slipstream, and DRS is your way to get past ahead of the driver in front of you as the Red Bull died very close now to the McLaren, and yes, there we go. Jaden is going to have that DRS, but Lynxby already putting pressure on him before they even get to turn 1, but he can keep that Haas behind, and there we go now. Viva now, the only driver who is not going to have that DRS, and Mr. Poem, our champion, under pressure in front from Viva's teammates in the Mercedes. The Mercedes now doing well to fight with the drivers in front, and here we go now. Can Mav having no straight line speed to get ahead of him? Lynxby though does already get ahead of TTV Yours Sincerely. Can Yours Sincerely fight it back against Lynxby, who's going to defend on the inside? No, he can't, and he's going to hold his place in P6 as Lynx puts himself up to P5. SR Racing now getting ahead of Algeria and has put himself in P12. His second move he has made in 2 laps now, and he's making up places starting from the back. Hazer 3/10 behind UFRL Viva. Viva doing a good job to keep that Mercedes behind. Mercedes struggling right now to get past. The McLaren is struggling right now to get past the Mercedes, but Mercedes is low on that ERS, while the McLaren is charging up that ERS, 100% ERS, and definitely will be able to make the move on the Mercedes in front. He knows that he has the pressure behind. He knows that he has to get it done, unless he will be the one that will be overtaken. Viva though, in this 5-car battle, can he hold itself? Can he defend from these other drivers who are trying to get ahead of him now, as the McLaren is gaining in that slipstream, but letting off that throttle as Mav now 1.1 behind Mr. Poem, and he's going to have that DRS. Is he going to make the move down to turn 1, or is he going to wait till they get up Eau Rouge and Radion and down the Kemmel Straight to get the move done on the Ferrari? And here we go. Yes, he is. He's going to have that DRS, and can Mr. Poem in the Ferrari hold him back? He does have more ERS to defend, but the question now is he going to defend? Is Mav going to get this move done as he's gaining on the Ferrari? He's going to activate that DRS, and ERS, he's not going to use it, but he's going to switch to the left. Side by side they go. He does have the straight line speed. He does have the 10 km/h advantage, and he takes the lead of the race. Hazer going ahead of his teammate though of UFRL Viva, who has done well to defend from Hazer, but now he has put himself in the final podium position. Mav though has taken the lead of this race and will try now to pull away from that Ferrari in P2 with 3 laps to go in this sprint. Before we get to the full race, how is the finishing order going to look like? CPI Mateos stuck in this DRS battle from Hazer all the way down to him. It's a tough battle as contact. CPI Mateos out of the race. Danny Dean also out of the race. Chaos at the back, and as SR Racing had to take avoiding action, and another driver has gone into him. Another driver gone round. Algeria's round is Chaos. It's a safety car. A safety car, few laps to the end of this race. Unbelievable stuff right at the end. It started with CPI Mateos losing it going into Puon, and it just went on from there. Chaos left, right, and center all the way to the back to F1 Connor and Algeria. Looks like F1 Connor, does he have damage? No, he doesn't, but he's out of the race right now. But Algeria does have damage from the internet that just happened before the safety car. Mav is going to stay out on those old medium tires as Mr. P goes into the pits. The Mercedes duo and Lynx are going to stay out. They believe that there's not going to be enough time to make a move with soft tires. That might be the better option here, because Hazer now has retired from the race and another driver out of the race. We have 4 drivers out of the sprint race here, and he will be starting at the back. Mr. Poem now, the soft tires, will he be able to make all these places back with 1 lap of racing? Definitely will be 1 or 2 laps of racing at the end. This might not have been the best option from the reigning champion here in Spa, but Viva and Mav, the Mercedes duo, do lead the way. Let's see where they started, because we couldn't get where they started because the race started so abruptly. Position changes, 2 places made for Mav and 1 lost to Viva. Viva did start pole position, but he's in P2, a good place to be. Lynx though, 7 places made by him and he's gained the most also with United Pesci starting in P10 and Pesci starting in P16, already up to P6. I think he decided to go into the pits, Pesci, did he? Let's see. I think he decided to go into the pits. That's why he's down there. Nope, he didn't. He hasn't had a stop here. Just Mr. P, SR Racing, and Algerie are the only drivers who have had a stop that are out now on track. And we'll see if that benefits them whatsoever. Go back to the front. The safety car. Will the safety car be coming in this lap? Maybe if F1 Connor can't catch up to the pack, maybe we will be having the safety car coming in this lap. If not, we're just going to have one lap of racing, and the drivers who decided to pit will be ruining their mistake now. But surely they can't win this race. Okay, here we go. Safety car coming in this lap. 2 laps to go. And can Marv and Viva and the Mercedes make it a 1-2 in the sprint here in Spa? They just have to defend from Link Speeds, who has done a terrific job, making 7 places and has made a few moves already. And now, can he make a move on 2 more drivers to definitely get the driver of the sprint and to get the win starting from P10? We'll see how that goes. Yours sincerely, though, a driver who's also looking for a win here against very top drivers in front of him. Just has 3 drivers to get ahead. It's going to be simply lovely stuff for the Red Bull here coming to the end of this race, and Marv is going to be the one to watch. When is he going to go? He looks like he's going to the pits, and it looks like he's going into the pits because he's not a full-time driver. But here we go now. Viva now is going to be the one leading the way, and can Viva win the race here with two laps to go? Link Speeds heading down Eau Rouge, and Radion is going to be close to him. United Pesci trying to make a move on Krizam, just 1/10 behind. There's moves being made as back as SR Racing round the outside going into Eau Rouge, and Radion gets ahead of Stickman. He's now compromised. Algeria is also going to take the opportunity and get ahead of the Williams. United Pesci, before they can get to the chicane, is ahead of Krizam in the Aston Martin. But here we go now with 1 lap to go at the end of this one. Can Viva keep Link Speeds behind? Does he have enough straight line speed coming down Eau Rouge and heading down the Canal Straight in the next lap to keep him behind? Mr. P on those soft tires has made the move on Krizam. Can he make more places? That's Pesci now with a 3-second penalty, and surely now Mr. P is going to finish ahead of him. But can Pesci make the move on Yours Sincerely, who is losing those place time to the drivers in front? Viva though struggling, going a bit deep there, and Lynx trying to take the opportunity to get ahead of the Mercedes driver. They're going to have 1 lap of racing at the end of this one. Will the Haas decide to make the move now, or is he going to wait till they head down to the Canal Straight? As here we go now, gaining on the Mercedes, switching to the inside, side by side they go to the fast corner, and before they get to the bus stop chicane, the Haas has taken the lead of the race, heading to the final lap. Here we go now. Yours Sincerely doing well to keep Pesci behind, but Mr. P on those soft tires, can he attack the drivers in front as Lynx goes a bit deep and gives the opportunity to Viva to be side by side with him, going around the outside, going into turn 1. Does he have the grip? Does he have the traction to get around the Haas driver who's doing well to defend it? Here we go now. Last lap of the race. Mr. Poem and Pesci fighting behind. Side by side they go up to Radion, who is going to be ahead here, and Pesci's going to pull back. The Ferrari has taken P4, and his next target now is going to be the Red Bull in front. He's gaining on the Red Bull. He's side by side with him, going into the chicane. Who is going to make the move? Is it going to be Mr. Poem? Is it going to be Viva in front, going around the outside of Link's piece, side by side, wheel to wheel, 4 drivers trying to go at it, going for the win here, but Link's piece doing well to defend it. Under pressure now, Mr. Poem, TTV Yours Sincerely, down the inside of the Ferrari. Can he get the move round the outside as they get to the next corner? No, we can't. That red tires, the grip on those red tires, the traction is keeping the Red Bull behind, who's under pressure now from the AlphaTauri. Can the AlphaTauri get the move done going into pool 1 as TTV Yours Sincerely is still trying to put pressure on Mr. P in the Ferrari? Can Viva now get ahead of Lynx? He's looking like he's lagging a little bit there, but Lynx looks like he's going to be a winner here with a few corners to go. The Haas driver just needs good enough straight line speed coming out of this corner because he knows the Mercedes is under pressure from the Ferrari, who puts himself in P2. Mr. P, a clawback drive all the way from P8 after pitting with 2 laps. With the reigning champion has put himself in P2 with 1 more car to go. Is he going to dive down the inside? Nope. He's going to hold it back, and it's going to be a P2 for him. Link's Peace, when he comes across the line, is going to be a winner here in Spa. Here be the sprint race is done, and Link's Peace is your winner. UFRL, Mr. P is going to come in second. Viva couldn't hold them off, and he's going to take the last place on the podium. And what a race that was. Just the sprint race has showed you what the real Grand Prix is going to look like. Exciting stuff right at the start of the inter-tier season. A very underrated tier as drivers from different parts of UFRL come together to battle it out. And that was a battle for sure. Here is your finishing grid as Link's Pace is your winner, and surely the driver of the sprint, starting from P10 to take the win here. Mr. P, after going into the pits and dropping down to P8 on those soft tires, clawed back all the way to P2. Good drive from him. And Viva holds on to that podium with very, very top drivers around him. Yours sincerely in P4, Kizam in P5, Algeria in P6, TPI Mateos in P7. That 3-second penalty drops Pesci down to P8. What a race that was. And those are the only drivers who surely will be getting points here in the sprint. Whew. That was intense. That was intense. But yeah, that was a strong PT Viva. Very good racing. Those drivers. Link's Peace just did a very good job to get ahead and to stay ahead. But that was a good one, and I can't wait for the race now. Absolutely mental. We should be starting anytime soon. Let's see what time the race. All right, 22:37. That's in a minute. So, in a minute, the race will be on. I'm ready. I'm ready. If anything is to say about it, the sprint race was magnificent. We'll see how the main race is. Another dry race. We'll see if it's changeable conditions. Because this sky looks kind of grey. You know, here at Spa, it does love to rain. So, see what's gonna happen. How does this tier work? This tier is like in our league. In the league, we have 3 tiers. Obviously, tier 1, 2, and 3, and we also have the 100% tier. But this tier is just like every other tier, main tier, but it's a mixture of tier 1 to tier 3 drivers. Anyone can come race here. You can come test yourself to see how you do against the best in the league. Or you can just, if you're one of the best in the league, like the likes of F1 Connor and Pesci and Mateus, just here to race again with your opponents, with your competitors, and also race with other tier drivers to see how it is. So it's a really fun tier. It's a really fun tier. You can also reserve if you're not a full-time driver. But that has its own limitations. Yeah, it's one of the best tiers to race in. And here we go now. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, and it's 5 lights. It's foot to the floor. And go, go, go. Here we go now. Ferrari, what a good start. But Link's piece in front is going to keep the lead. Kind of Ferrari go around the outside. No, the Haas is going to hold him back. And here we go now on lap 1. This time, no contact made at the back. No yellow flags at the back. And as they go up to Eau Rouge and riding on now, how does the race strategies look like? Link's piece is going to start on the medium tires. And he has the Ferrari gaining on him. Is the Ferrari going to try and get that move done? No, he's not. But Algeria is going to get ahead of Viva, going around the outside. The AlphaTauri is also going to take this opportunity of United Pesci to attack Viva, starting on those hard tires, and he has the better grip, he has the better traction. Down to Rivage now, he is ahead of the Mercedes, and the Mercedes now under pressure from CPI Mateus, another driver on the softs, attacking the Mercedes on the hard now. It's going to be a very hard start for him. Hazer round the outside of SR Racing is going to be in P11. And CPI Mateus now down to pull 1, putting pressure on Viva, going to go down the inside as they head to the chicane, and he is ahead as they head down now to Stavolo. Can Link's piece keep Mr. P behind at the start of this race as his yellow flags at the back, and it looks like someone has gone for a spin. But Mr. P now 5/10 behind Link's piece, down Blanchimont and down to the bus stop chicane. Can he get ahead? 3/10 now, gaining on the Haas driver like he did on the last lap of the sprint race. But this time around, can he get the move done? Going around the outside, almost making contact, and that forces him to go deep. Is that going to make the other drivers behind get ahead of him, as United Pesci now has gotten ahead of Algeria, and their moves being made at the back? Link's piece with the fastest lap, the first driver to cross the line for sure. But here we go, TTV, yours sincerely, 3/10 behind Mr. Poem, and can he use that slipstream to get ahead of, as a severe collision at the back? CPI Mateus and United Pesci have come together, and it's a 5-second penalty for CPI Mateus. But we'll see what's happened there when they send in their clips. The Mercedes drivers now squabbling as they did in the sprint race, and with those soft tires, Viva is going to let his teammate through, because he knows there is no point fighting them, as Prezi Perez does get past his own teammate Hazer into P7. That's back to the front now. Link's piece is doing well to keep that Ferrari behind, still 5/10 ahead, but the DRS is going to be enabled on the next lap, and that's when more moves would be made here. And here we go now. The McLaren drivers squabbling as they head down to pull one. Round the outside, Hazer is going to go round his teammates, and he's going to take that P7 as Perez drops down to P8 now. Destroyer Drac is going to try and take this opportunity to attack that McLaren as he has a fast moving Alfa Romeo down the inside as they head to the chicane, and it's a beautiful move from the Alfa Romeo. He has the grip, he has the traction. There we go now, down to Stabulo and down to Blanchemont, who is going to get ahead. Side by side they go. Who has the straight line speed? Who is going to be ahead as they go down to the bus stop chicane? It's going to be SR Racing, and he gets ahead of the hard tire runner of Destroyer Drac, who's going to try and fight it back, but there's nothing he can do. He has to hold back as Marv now, round the outside in the bus stop chicane, puts himself in P4 and is charging to the front. A driver that was looking like was going to be a winner in the last race. This time around, he's taking it serious and he wants to get it done as there's yellow flags at the back. Look, CPI Mateos looking like he's having issues at the back, and this is not how he wants to start his inter-tier season. Algeria now is going to have that DRS, and can he get ahead of Marv in front? First though, Mr. Prem in that Ferrari, gaining on the Haas, but not close enough. The Haas is going to keep that lead. As here we go to the back now, SR Racing ahead of Perez, and he's gaining places in the Alfa Romeo. Algerido and Marv side by side. Marv is going to keep that place into P4, heading down to Rivage. Can he fight it back? No, we can't. Stickman is falling to the back, side by side with Danny as they are making contact. But the Williams driver still squabbling with the Red Bull now. Going down to Rivage as CPM Mercedes has retired from this race. He's not having any more of it as he's done now. As Dog now, 2/10 behind Perez, putting pressure on the McLaren, who has lost a lot of places as they head down to pull one. Can Dog get that move done? He's going a little bit wide there, definitely getting a warning for extended track limits as Pesci putting pressure on Destroyer Drac in front, who is on those hard tires. He knows he has the grip and he's trying to get ahead of Destroyer, who has the hard tires right now, and he won't want to be stuck behind a hard tire runner because the strategy will come in better for the hard tire runner later in the race. Hazer though, 3/10 behind Viva, putting pressure on the hard tire runner. He's on the soft tire, so surely this move should be done as easy as possible. He tries to go around the outside, but he's going to hold it back. He knows he's going to have that DRS to get that move done on him, so he can't hold it as SR Racing now still trying to get the move done on Destroyer Drac. He's now going to be compromised as Pesci and Dog are going to attack SR Racing. But where he go now, Pesci round the outside. Can he get the move done? Does he have the grip? Is the traction right there? Is the grip around the outside there? Yes, he does. Side by side they go. Down to Oruj and up Radion. Down the Kemmel straight. And Pesci is going to get ahead of SR Racing, who is now in an AlphaTauri sandwich. Back to the front as Hazer is getting ahead of UFRL Viva and has put himself in P6. Hazer and Viva now has dropped down to P7. SR Racing though taking that place back from Pesci, using that DRS, heading down to Lacombs, and is now in P9 as this race is intensifying as Pesci now putting pressure on SR Racing, but he's going to have to hold it back going down to Rivage because there's no space in this corner to try and make the move as CPI Materials has left the session now as Viva 7/10. He is behind Hazer. He will want to keep that DRS, want to be in that DRS zone because he's going to be under pressure from the drivers behind him. If Hazer can't pull away from him, Ferrari doing well to keep links in front of him because they do have the same amount of ERS. Coming out of Stavolo now, down to Blanchemont, and is he going to be close enough to use that DRS on the next corner to make the move, or heading down to the bus stop chicane? Destroyer Jack though, 3/10 behind Viva, the two drivers on those hard tires. Out of the three drivers that are on hard tires on track, squabbling now. Destroyer Track gaining on Viva. He's right behind that slipstream, and before they get to the bus stop chicane, can he get ahead, or is he going to hold it back? He's going to hold it back on Viva, trying to go around the outside, but he doesn't have enough grip to get that move done. Viva is going to be in front. SR Racing though taking this opportunity to attack Destroyer Jack in front. He's going to have that DRS, but he's going to have to hold it back because he's going to dive down the inside. He's going to dive down the inside. They're going to make contact. That's not really the best move there from SR Racing because he's pushed Destroyer Jack wide, and United Pesci has taken the opportunity now, and he's going to have that DRS to attack Viva in front. Here we go now. The AlphaTauri has the DRS. He's going to be gaining on Viva, activating his DRS, and there we go now. As the wheels turn round, he's gaining gaining on Mercedes. SR Racing side by side with him, side by side they go into the bus stop chicane. Is contact made? No, it's not. Viva is doing well to defend from them, keeping them behind, but SR Racing trying to get ahead. United Pesci round the outside of SR Racing, has taken the place back, and Destroyer Track still in P10, trying to find a way through these drivers, and Viva doing a good job to defend from the drivers behind him. It looks like this is the only DRS battle that we have on track, because the rest of the drivers are out of that DRS zone. Destroyer Drag now getting ahead of SR Racing before they get into Q1, and a beautiful move from Destroyer. And here we go now, Pesci putting pressure on that Mercedes. He does have the medium tires, they're currently better, and he's trying to go around the outside in the chicane here, but he can't. He's going to have to hold it back now, heading to start of Savolo and down to Blanchimont. Will he have that slipstream, enough slipstream to get ahead of Viva in front? Maybe not, but here we go now, gaining on the Mercedes. Is he going to try and make that move to the left or to the right? It looks like he's going to hold it back, and he knows he can't use that DRS. Hazer though, 8,000 of a second right behind Algeria, but can't get that move done. He does have the DRS. He knows he can use that DRS to get it done. And here we go now. The McLaren attacking the Alpine in front, and he's going to have that DRS going up to Orouge and down the Camel straight. And the McLaren for sure will be getting ahead of the driver in front, who doesn't have the DRS and is low on their ERS, and will struggle to keep Hazer behind. Here we go now. They're on those soft tires, so their pit window will be opening anytime soon. Hazer down the outside is going to be ahead before they even get to the chicane. Hazer are taking P5. Viva though under pressure from United Pesci, who's trying to go around the outside. Viva is fighting it hard. Going to the corner now. Who is going to be ahead? United Pesci is going to take P7, as Viva is going to tuck into B8. Destroyer Drag has gotten ahead of SR Racing and is now going to be in P9, attacking the Mercedes in front. Intense stuff going on here. The drivers in front out of the DRS, so there's no more squabbles in front, but the drivers right here, TPM, United Pesci, Viva and Destroyer Drag. Also SR Racing, as Dog has joined this fight, and Krizam wants a piece of it too. It's a 6-car battle for P7, and can Pesci pull away from Viva? So on those hard tires, surely he can. He does have the grip, he does have the traction right now to pull away from the Mercedes. Destroyer Drag though, on those hard tires, he's going to try and attack Viva in front. He wants to be the front runner of hard tires on track, and down Blanchimont to go. With Destroyer Drag have enough straight line speed to make the move on the Red Bull in front. Not enough, but he's going to have the DRS assistance, 10 kilometers an hour extra to get ahead of Viva when they get to the DRS zone, as Pesci now is getting close to Algeria, and he's going to also have that DRS, and he's going to try to make that move on the driver in front. Here we go now, coming out of turn 1. Can Algeria defend from Pesci behind, who Algeria, who last lap was overtaken by the McLaren of Hazer, is now under pressure by the AlphaTauri of United Pesci. And here we go now, up Radion and down the Camel straight. He's going to have that DRS. He's going to be gaining on Algeria, but is he close enough to get that move done? He's gaining on him as Destroyer Drag round the outside. He's going to get ahead of Viva. Pesci not close enough to get ahead of Algeria in that Alpine, who's going well to keep that AlphaTauri behind in P6. Viva now has gotten overtaken by Destroyer Drag, and his next opponent now is going to be SR Racing down Rivage. He's going to have the grip on Viva in front, but those hard tires very soon will start coming into play. What strategy is Viva going to go for? Is he going to go for the hards, then the softs right at the end, or is he going to go for the medium tires very soon? See what he decides, because you can't go for, it's a one stop here in Belgium, as down the inside the AlphaTauri goes on Algeria, and as they come out of the corner, he is going to be ahead. A beautiful move made there by United Pesci in La Fange corner, and down to Stavolo. He is going to be ahead coming out Stavolo, and down Blanchimont. Can Algeria fight it back? No, he's not close enough. But CTVO sincerely though, 8 tenths behind Mr. P, and is now catching up to the Ferrari in front. He's going to have that DRS to attack that Ferrari once they get to the next corner. Here we go. He has the DRS now. Can he keep 9/10 behind before they get to Eau Rouge? Because that's where he truly wants it, as Hazer now is going into the pits and he believes his soft tires have run their course. Destroyer drag down the inside. He's not going to make the move, but he's trying to put off the driver in front. And can he get the move done on him? As CTV sincerely is going to attack the Ferrari now, but it looks like he's not close enough to make that move. Is Destroyer drag though close enough to make the move on Algerie? It looks like he is. He's gaining on him as the wheels turn round. As they head down to the bus stop chicane, he's going to activate his DRS and his ERS. Going down the down the inside, he is going to be ahead, heading to the bus stop chicane. Algerie is going to try and fight it back. That's going to compromise him and get Viva to get the move done on the Alpine driver. And now Viva is up to P7. As yours sincerely now 6/10 behind Mr. Poem, and he's going to use this opportunity to get past him. As Stickman now tries to get ahead of Hazer, but does not have enough straight line speed to get that move done on the McLaren driver, who has come into the pits. One of the only drivers who has come into the pits now. He is the only driver himself. The two McLarens have decided actually to come into the pits. We'll see how that strategy works out for the men from Woking. 6/10 now behind Mr. Poem, as there's yellow flags at the back. It looks like Algerie has gone for a spin. He might have had contact with another driver, but that doesn't bring out a safety car. We are still racing here, and TTV, yours sincerely, is going to now use this opportunity to try and get ahead of Mr. Poem, who is trying his best to defend from Jaden behind in that Red Bull. It's going to be simply lovely stuff on the next lap for him. Is he going to get the move done? He has the DRS going into turn 1. He is 6/10 behind. He just needs to make sure he has the better exit coming out to the first corner. And here we go now, down to Eau Rouge and up Radion. Can he get ahead of Mr. Poem as they get past the Kennel Straight, as Dog now is going to get ahead of Mav, who is into the pits, and a few drivers going into the pits now, and the soft runners believe it is time to come into the pits. Is yours sincerely going to be quick enough? Does he have enough straight line speed to get past the Ferrari? Is he going to dive down the inside? No, he's not. He's going to hold it back as they get into Lecombe's corner. He has to hold it back down to Melmedy, and he has no chance at all to get ahead of the Ferrari, and he's going to try again on the next lap. They are on those medium tires, so they can't go for a few more laps. That's Danny Dean now coming out to the pits, 4/10 behind. Oh, almost making contact. SR Racing overtaking Danny Dean coming out to the pits. A funny situation there. At 7/10 now, Hazer behind Mav, and he does have the fresher tires. No, Mav does have the fresher tires, and we'll see how these two on those hard tires can claw back to the front. They are the first two drivers that lead in the pack of drivers who have gone into the pit. As 3/10 now down to Stavolo, and into Stavolo, coming out of Stavolo and down Blanchimont. Can the Red Bull get ahead of Ferrari, or is he going to hold it back and use that DRS going to bus stop chicane? They have been fighting for 3 to 4 laps now, and he's been trying to get ahead of Mr. Poem, but Mr. Poem has been doing a good job. He has the straight line speed, he has the pace to keep that Red Bull behind, but is it enough now? He's going to have that DRS to Red Bull, but he's going into the pits. He decides to go for the undercut, and how is that going to work for him on the Ferrari in front? The Ferrari surely will be going into the pits on the next lap. We'll see how it goes for them. But Mav now behind Krizam on those soft tires. Krizam is still yet to pit, and will he be going into the pits on this lap? Yes, he will, as Mav will be getting that DRS to defend from Hazer behind, as Dog now getting ahead of Sincerely, who is in the pits. And the other fights at the back, Pezzi Pez and Algerie squabbling at the back. 4/10 now, Pezzi Pez behind Algerie, who has come into the pits. They both have come into the pits, and we'll see how that works out for them. Krizam now with a slow pit stop because he has to change his front wing, and that is not going to be good for the Aston Martin driver. Hazer though will have that DRS to try and attack Mav in front, but he's under pressure from the Red Bull behind. Is he going to get that move done? Going into the chicane. Yes, he is. Down the inside of Lecombe. Can he hold it around the outside? No, he can't, as Mav is going to keep that place in P7. Good defending from him and good squabbling from those two drivers, as yours sincerely now is joining this fight. They all are on those hard tires and will surely be going to the end. The question now is, will Mr. P going into the pits, because he has 3 drivers, Mav, Hazer and yours sincerely, who can undercut his strategy as we speak. But will his strategy work out? When is he going to go into the pit? What time does he decide that the hard tires will be at their best condition to get him the race win today? As Linsby 6 seconds ahead, is looking like he's going to be a race winner. And Mr. P will be looking like he wants to hold on to that P2 in this first race here in the Inter-Tier, our reigning champion on the podium. But right now is under pressure as he's going into the pits. Hopefully he didn't go into the wall there. As now, here we go now. Yours sincerely, Mav and Hazer are heading down. Are they going to be ahead of him when he comes out of the pit stop? And here we go now, Mav coming out of the final corner, followed by Hazer and yours sincerely. Mr. P is the one to watch as he's coming out of the pits now. Are they going to get ahead of him? Yes, they are. He's lost places to the 3 drivers now, but with fresher tires, can he fight it back as he's just right behind TTV yours sincerely and is going to have that DRS on the Red Bull driver in front, who has the DRS on Hazer, who doesn't have the DRS on Mav. And here we go now, down the Kemmel straight. The Red Bull round the outside is going to get the move done as they are side by side now. They go, and down to Lecombe, he is going to be ahead of the McLaren. There's nothing the McLaren can do. Mr. Boehm now is going to join this fight. He does have the fresher tires than the drivers in front of him, and we'll see how that works out for him as Destroyer Drag still yet to pit, and he is leading this race. He will be hoping for a safety car, or maybe he just might be going for that soft tires close to the end, as Hazer now 5/10 behind. And Mr. P with a 3-second penalty, and that is not what he wants here as he's racing against these guys here. He wants to make sure that he doesn't have a penalty, but that's what he's sitting on right now, and surely he's going to make his race way more difficult. Mav though putting pressure on his teammate. They are making contact, and that makes compromise Viva, as Mav now is going to get ahead of Viva, who is under pressure coming out of Stavilo from TTV yours sincerely. And as they head down to Blashmore, yours sincerely surely is going to get ahead of Mercedes, or is he going to be holding it back as Mav now has put his teammates under pressure as they head down to the bus stop chicane. Yours sincerely tried to go around the outside, but can he get that move done? No, he can't. But he's surely going to have that DRS. He's going to have that advantage on Viva to try and get that move though. Viva though is going to have that DRS. His teammate Mav making sure that he does have that DRS to defend from yours sincerely behind. It's a 5-way battle for P3 now as we speak, but it's P2 provisional P2 because Destroyer Drag is still yet to go into the pits as Link's Priest is catching up to him. Hazer though is very close to yours sincerely. Who is really going to be the one to make the move here? Is it going to be Viva on his teammates as he's gaining? The Mercedes are going to be side by side as they go into the chicane, and as they go into Lecombe, yours sincerely is going to go round the outside and going to make a double overtake on both Mercedes drivers. They were squabbling down to Lecombe's as it's a simply lovely move from him. Jaden saw the opportunity and went for it, and now it's provisional P2. What a move from Jaden now as they squabble right at the back. Viva losing more places now as Mr. Poem and Hazer have gotten ahead of him. The Mercedes team will not be happy with what went on there as their drivers squabbled, and that made the other drivers of yours sincerely and Hazer and Mr. Poem get ahead of them. And but here we go now, Mav. Can he fight it back to get that move back done on yours sincerely? Back to the front though. Link's Priest is making a move on Destroyer Drag. Back to the lead of the race. Destroyer Drag still yet to pit, deciding to stay out, hoping for a safety car. But a safety car that's looking like it's not coming at this point of the race. As Mav now 2/10 behind yours sincerely, who is low on that ERS. They are both low on the ERS. He's trying to dummy that move. Yours sincerely isn't falling for it. Doesn't clip the apex though, but doesn't go too deep. Can he defend from Mav going into turn 1? He uses that DRS. He's trying to defend on the inside as Mav is going to hold it back because he knows that going to the bus stop chicane, he is going to have the opportunity to make that move on him. Viva though hasn't pitted yet. Let's realize Viva hasn't pitted. He's also going for the long strategy, going for those softs right at the end, and we'll see how that works out for him, especially now 3:10 behind him and Doug getting ahead of Stickman, and now Stickman who is going into the pit. And here we go now, Mav getting ahead of TTV Ossiseli, and Hazer is also going to use that opportunity, trying to go down the inside of Mav, but he still has to hold that P4 as Ossiseli, 2 places lost now to the McLaren and the Mercedes. As here we go now, the squabble is back on. Link's pace is looking like he's going to be a winner here today. He just has to make sure that he keeps his pace right to the end with 10 laps to go. Mav, Hazer, Yossinseli, and Mr. Poem in a squabble of a lifetime as Krizam is now getting ahead of Danny Dean in P13, putting himself ahead of the Red Bull. SR Racing though is going to be under pressure from Krizan and Danny Dean. They are on those medium tires that will be getting better to the end of this race. Back to the front though, Jaden 3/10 behind Hazer, as Hazer now is losing time to Mav in front and is not going to have that DRS, so that puts him under pressure from the Red Bull behind. Mr. P with the 3-second penalty, so he won't be fighting too hard, as Jaden now gaining on McLaren as they head to the bus stop chicane, almost running to the rear of him as they go into, he's going to be side by side, he's going to dive down the inside, and they're side by side they go, making a little bit of contact. McLaren trying to fight it back, but JD is going to have that DRS now to pull away. Is Mr. P going to fight the McLaren, going down to turn 1, he's also going to go down the inside of Hazer, side by side they go as the Ferrari has gotten ahead. But here we go now, Jaden is going to be under pressure as they head up to Eau Rouge and Vadion and down the Camel Straight. He's not going to have that DRS, but Mr. Poem is going to have that DRS with a 3-second penalty. He doesn't care. He's trying to get that move done. He activates his DRS and he's going to be gaining, using that ERS, accelerating round, getting that round the outside. He's going to get ahead of TTV Ossinseli. Can Hazer also get that move done? No. He's going to have to hold it back as the Ossinseli now has dropped down to P5 and Mr. P putting himself in P4. Mav though has used this opportunity to pull away from them and is trying to catch Link's piece in front, who is doing a good job and it's looking like he's going to be a winner here. But how much can he push? Can he keep Mav behind? He's on older tires, but does he have that pace to catch Link's piece in front? 3/10 now, right behind Viva, who has gone into the pit, and surely Adri will struggle to keep that Mercedes close, who will have the grip and does have the fresher tires to finish off this race. Destroyer Drag still out there, deciding he's not coming into the pit, still hoping for that safety car, and we'll see how that works out for him. Yossi said he 5/10 behind Mr. Poem and is now going to use this opportunity to tuck behind that slipstream of Mr. Poem. Is pulling away. He does have the better straight line speed, and Yossi said he's going to be under pressure from Hazer. They're still in the DRS zones, I think, both of them, and Yossi said he's 6/10 behind Mr. P now, does have the straight line speed to keep close enough to use that DRS to be gaining on him. Mr. P though gaining on Mav in front, 1.3 second, 1.1, and he's also going to have that DRS. Destroyer Jack has finally come into the pit, and we'll see where he comes out when he finishes his pit stop, as Hazer now falling back from your sincerely 1.2 seconds, is not going to have that DRS, but he is going to have that DRS on Mr. Poem, the Red Bull driver, as they head up Eau Rouge and Vadion and down the Camel Straight. Is he going to be ahead of the Ferrari? He's going to be gaining on that Ferrari that made the move on him on the previous lap, and he's going to make that move back. He's going to go around the outside and he's going to get that move done, as they are close now, close enough to Mav to have the DRS on the Mercedes driver in front. The squabble continues for that P2, as Link's piece is surely going to be a winner here with 7 laps to go. He just has to keep that car straight. SR Racing 1/10 behind the McLaren. He's going to be gaining on the McLaren, and surely he's going to be getting past the McLaren, but he does have the pressure of Krizan behind, who's going to be there, going to make it 3 wide down the straight, contact being made, but they made sure that none of them are out of the race, and here goes the Aston Martin, a double overtake for Krizan, and puts himself in P11, almost chaos there down the Camel Straight, but Krizan is going to keep that pace in P11 and going to gain a 3-second penalty for his efforts, as Mr. P now 5/10 behind Yours Sincerely, who's 9/10 behind Mav. Does he have that straight line speed to keep close to Mav to have the DRS as they head down to the bus stop chicane? He's definitely going to have that DRS heading down to turn 1. And here we go now. The squabble continues as Mr. P saving that ERS. He knows that at the end of the race, that ERS will be very important here, because they are close together, these 3 drivers, fighting for that P2, fighting for the last place on the podium in P3 as well. And here we go now. Just sincerely, 6 tenths behind Mav. He's going to have that DRS. United Pesci with the fastest lap of a 1:45.7. And that will be an extra point for the driver who currently is in P6 and putting pressure on Hazer. And surely we'll be getting ahead of Hazer using that DRS assistant. But here we go now. Can you also say get ahead of Mav? No, we can't. But Mr. P is going to get that move back on him. They have been switching places as they are gaining on the Mercedes. Not enough for them. But Mr. P is going to get ahead of the Red Bull. He's trying to stick around the outside. There they go as the Ferrari has gotten in front. And Pesci has gotten the move done on Hazer, who drops down to P6. The squabble continues now as yours sincerely and Mr. Prim switching places, going into Lecombs every lap. And when will they finally be making the move on Mav in front, who is liking that they're squabbling at the back as Pesci press for another 3-second penalty, and that is not what he will want at all. 7 tenths behind now. Danny then behind Pesci Press can't get that move done. Back to the front, United Pesci joining this four-way battle for P2 as Hazer is going to try his best to catch up to the pack so he can have that DRS to fight with the drivers in front. As Mr. P now 9 tenths behind Mav, and he will need to gain on Mav if he wants to get that move done. He's under pressure from the Red Bull behind, so surely he will need that DRS from Mav. Destroyer Drag though came out of the pits ahead of Viva. They're both on the same strategy, and Destroyer Drag now on those soft tires because he have enough time to catch Hazer in front on those soft tires. We'll see how it goes for him as Mr. P 5 tenths behind Mav now, and he's going to have that DRS going into turn 1. He's going to have to hold it back, not close enough yet, but will he be close enough as they head to the bus stop chicane? United Pesci now with the fastest lap again of a 1:45.6 with a 1/10 improvement from his previous fastest lap. Destroyer Jack smashes that though with a 1:44.8 as he's looking like he is going to be the one ending up with the fastest lap in this race. Here we go now, 2 tenths now. Pesci right behind the struggling Red Bull, who's low on that ERS. The sister car of the Red Bull going around the outside. Mr. Pido also making the move on Mav before they get to the bus stop chicane. He's ahead of the Mercedes, and the AlphaTauri is also ahead of the Red Bull. 2 overtakes made in 1 corner by 2 drivers as they are now fighting, going down to Rivage. Is Mav going to try and get the move done on the Ferrari? No, but the Ferrari goes a little bit deep and it's going to go around the outside and is now going to take that place back. They are still squabbling. There you go. Down to pool 1. Is Mr. P going to make the move down the inside? He's looking for it, but Mav does give him the space and is going to stay ahead of Mr. P, who's under pressure now from United Pesci, who is joining the squabble, trying to get into the final place on the podium. Mr. P a little bit squirrely, they're almost losing the back end, and Mav using this opportunity now to try and pull away from them. Yosin said he's going to stay in this battle and look for his opportunity to get past in front of these drivers that he's been squabbling with. And here we go now, 5 tenths behind, gaining on Mav. And is he going to get the move done here, or is he going to wait till they get to turn 1 or the bus stop chicane? And here we go now, gaining on the Mercedes, holding it back, especially he's also putting pressure on him. Sincerely now has joined this 4-way battle. Hazer is trying to join the battle, still trying to get into that DRS of the 4 drivers in front of him as he's struggling at the back. As Pesci is going to go around the outside of the Ferrari. Does he have the grip? Does he have the traction? Yes, he does. Side by side they go. He doesn't need the DRS. And now his next target is going to be Mav in front. Mr. P under pressure now, trying to get ahead of Pesci. Here we go now. They are gaining on Mav, who is going to be in P2 as they head to turn 4. But there we go now. Mr. P trying to go around the outside as they head to Lecombs, going around the outside of the Ferrari. Nope. Pesci is going to take that P2. Mav has dropped to P4. And oh my God, he's getting intense now as Mr. P now, and 5 laps to go. Can Mr. P get his move back done, or United Pesci, who has taken himself up to P2 on an outstanding drive from Pesci here, starting from all the way back from when he starts? I know he started from the back, started from P8 and all the way up to P2 now. Mav started from P13 all the way to P4. Very good drives from both of them as Mav now putting pressure on Mr. P in front. As United Pesci doesn't have enough time to definitely catch Lynx in front. Will surely be your winner here as they get to Stavolo now and down to Blanchimont. Will Mav have that pace to get ahead of the Ferrari, using a little bit of his ERS as the Ferrari to keep Mav behind. And here we go now, few laps to go. Can Pesci pull away from Mr. P? Yes, he can. And that's going to put Mr. P right under pressure as Mav is going to have that DRS. Mr. P has to try and keep Pesci close enough in that DRS to make sure that Mav doesn't have the opportunity to attack him, but he goes a little bit deep there and he's going to lose time, and now he's not going to have, as they are side by side, Kizam and Algeria making a little bit of contact going into Stavilo as Algeria has gotten ahead of the Aston Martin. Back to the front. Back to the front now. Mr. P doesn't have that DRS, and Mav is going to have that DRS, and he's going to be gaining on the Ferrari driver who is low on the ARS. Is he close enough to get that move done? No, he's not. And going down to the comms, Mr. P is going to keep his place in PT with a few laps to go here. Yossi said he's trying to save as much ARS to try and get the move done on the drivers in front. Mr. P will have to try his best to get into that DRS zone of the driver. Press now under pressure from Dog. Round the outside, the AlphaTauri is trying to go, but he's going to have that. He will switch back. An absolute switchback of dreams from Doug, but now he's going to be under pressure from the McLaren, who's now going to have that DRS, and he has a lot of ERS to attack the AlphaTauri in front. He's going to be gaining on that AlphaTauri, going to be gaining, but can he get that move done? Here we go now, down the straight, down Camel straight. Is the AlphaTauri going to be in front? Yes, he is going to keep his place in P13 as they are squabbling there, but a beautiful switchback from Doug as Mav now 3/10 behind Mr. Poem, who's not going to have that DRS, and it looks like they will be squabbling for the last place on the podium. Mr. P does have a 3-second penalty though, so if they finish like this, Mav will finish on the podium, and Yossi said he will finish in P4. But here we go now, Perez with another 3-second penalty, not looking good for him whatsoever. Mav though, very, very close to the Ferrari now, is going to have that DRS. Going down to turn 1, he's surely going to hold it back because he knows that when they head down to the Cameron Straight, he surely can't get that move done with the DRS assistance. And here we go now, using a little bit of that ERS to gain on the Ferrari, so he's close enough to get that move. And surely, when he activates his DRS, he's going to get ahead of the struggling Ferrari, who's low on ERS, activating that DRS, switches to the right side. Side by side they go. Can Mr. Poem defend it? Nothing he can do as Mark puts himself into PT on the last place of the podium. As Yossi said, he has the best view of the squabble they're having in front. Dog though, 4/10 behind Stickman. He's going to have that DRS to attack the Williams in front as Krizam is going to get ahead of, looks like Algeria got ahead of Krizam going to that corner. Oh, Viva actually went into the pit, so a few drivers got ahead of him there. As back to the front now, Mr. Poem now trying to get ahead of Mav, but struggling to do that. As Viva now is going to be gaining on Danny Din, very easily getting around the outside with those soft tires, and he's going to put himself in the top 10. Back to Destroyer, who's 3/10 behind Hazer. He has caught up to Hazer now on those soft tires, and surely will be getting that move done on the McLaren driver to put himself in P6. How is this going to work out for the Williams driver, who's going to be gaining down Blanchimont on the McLaren as they head to the bus stop chicane? He's going to hold it back because he knows he's going to have that DRS. But Mr. P, is he going to hold it back going into turn 1, or is he going to wait for that move down to the bus stop chicane? No, down to Lecombs after the Campbell Straight. But here we go now. He does have the DRS. He's gaining on Mav, and will he get that move done? Destroyer Drag also gaining on the McLaren, putting pressure on him, looking down the inside as there's chaos at the back. SR Racing looks like he's going for a spin. Press, Stickman. Chaos at the back. Looks like they made a bit of contact as they're going to lose time now to the drivers in front. Destroyer Drag doesn't need DRS around the outside before they can get up to Overwood and Radion. We'll get ahead, but McLaren is going to have that DRS while Mr. P has gotten ahead of Mav, has put himself in P3. McLaren is going to have that DRS. Can he fight it back? Can he go around the outside? Does he have enough grip on those old hard tires? No, he doesn't. Destroyer Drag is going to hold him back as Viva now getting ahead of Algeria as he's trying to go around the outside. He does have the better grip. Algeria is slightly forcing him wide as they head down now. He's going to have that DRS, but they're under pressure from Krizan and Danny Din. Squabble at the back for P8 on the grid. Here we go now. Viva using that DRS, activating the ERS and activating the DRS and accelerating and gaining on him, switching to the right side, and before they can get to Lecombs, he is going to be ahead of the Alpine, who's now dropped down to P9. Strategy call working out for UFRL Viva, who has come for the soft tires, and his next target was going to be Hazer, but Hazer is 34 seconds ahead, surely not catching him with a lap to go. Here we go now. Marv putting pressure on the Ferrari in front, as Yosin said he has joined the squabble now for the final spot on the podium, as Mr. P now holding Marv back, but with one lap to go, Lynx P surely is going to be your winner. United Pesci did gain on him a little bit, but he will have to gain 4 seconds on him on this lap if he wants to win, with one more lap to go. Here we go. Mr. P trying to be slow on the corner to make sure that Marv doesn't have the best entry and exit, but would that be enough? Marv is going to have that DRS. He's going to gain on Mr. Prem, and there we go. And up Rouge and Radion for the final time in this race. Is the Mercedes going to get a move done on the Ferrari? Yes, he surely is. He's going to activate his DRS and his ERS side by side with the Ferrari, and the Ferrari has nothing he can do and would lose that place to the Mercedes, who has put himself on the final spot of the podium. And that right there surely will be the end, as Daddy Dean now and Algerie squabbling side by side. Algerie going into the side of Danny Dean, and that is retirement for Algerie on the last lap of the race. Surely out of the race now, and after a long race, that's not what he will want whatsoever. Can Yossi said he gets ahead of Mr. P before the end of the race? Probably not, as Marv surely is going to be the one who finishes in P3 here, as Dog now and Danny Dean fighting. Dog getting past Danny Dean and putting himself in P9. Good stuff from Dog as he puts himself ahead of the Red Bull on the last lap of the race, and a good strategy from this hard to soft runner guys, as they've made up places now and are surely going to finish in the top 10. And here we go now to the last corner of the race. Lynx Peace, when he comes out of the last corner, out of the bus stop chicane, he started in P10 on the sprint to win the sprint, and when it comes to the race, he gets the dub again. Lynx Peace wins here in Spa. United Pesci is going to take P2. Marv with a brilliant drive is going to take that final spot on the podium. Yours sincerely finishing in P4. Mr. P, after the 3-second penalty, is going to drop down to P5. Destroyer Drac finishing P6. Hazer P7. Viva is going to finish in P8. Dog in P9 for sure. Danny Dean is going to be in P10. Bandini is going to be in 10, but with that 3-second penalty, is going to finish right behind SR Racing. Stickman in P12. Pezzi Perez in 13. And F1 Corner is going to finish up a race that he did not actually participate in. I believe that was his AI. But here you go. Lynx Peace is your winner here. Outstanding drive from the Haas driver. Dominated, led from the front. No overtakes made on him, and he kept his place in front. Showed everybody else that this was his race, and he wins by 3.4 seconds from United Pesci. Finishes in P2. Well done to the Haas driver, who wins the first race here in the Inter-Tier. That was exciting. That was also another exciting race. Very good round one from the Inter-Tier drivers. A pleasure to watch, as United Pesci is going to be your driver of the day. But we will handle driver of the day ourselves, as we always do. But he did have a very good race, starting from, I believe, P8 and finishing in P2. So a very good race for Pesci. And there you go. There's your podium. Lynx Peace is going to stand at the top side of the podium, accompanied by the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri driver of Mav and United Pesci. And there you go. His team celebrates. And we all know that the champagne is going to taste the best in the Haas camp. Lynx Peace wins here at Spa. Very, very good race. That was a good one. Oh, thank you all you guys for tuning in. A good amount of viewers here. I hope you guys enjoyed that race. I surely did. Surely did. All right. Suave. And that's that. I'm gonna like I always do, Record the race director just in case anybody needs it. Because we always need the race director because of collisions and whatnot. There you go. Good race that was. With Links Please, me your winner. And we'll be back again next week in the Inter tier. But first of all, it's tier 1 again on Monday. Before we go for the raid, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. We are going to raid Swive. I have been Willie Fernandez. We have been UFRL. We've had UFRL Shadow on Race Control. Thank you guys for tuning in. And goodbye.